today, lots of interesting things. Ron Black will lead us in God Bless America and Pledge Allegiance and the Kiwanis Pledge and the invocation with Cheryl Voss. And Marty Williams will introduce our speaker.
Good morning, everybody. And of course, we have Larry Wade at the piano. And let's sing it from the heart, shall we? May we as true Kiwanians exemplify these virtues as we serve the children of the world. Please remain standing.
I have an announcement before I pray, and I'm going to say that I'm going to pray for Marcia Bergtorf. Her daughter, who lives in Wisconsin, was just diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And on Monday night, Marcia's grandson was killed in an auto accident. So she's got an auto accident, and her daughter, and they were in the same family. So she needs our prayers. Heavenly Father, thank you for a new day. Fill us with your purpose as we as Kiwanis members guide our words and our hearts. May we honor you in all we do. May we have the love of children in our hearts. And may you give comfort to Marcia and her family, and we give Marcia all our prayers. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Good morning, Gold K. We've got a busy schedule today. We have representatives from the Decatur Public School with us today. Dr. Rochelle Clark, Mary Brady, Assistant Superintendent. No? Okay. Monica Wilkes and Melanie Shelley for the community involvement. Is she here? Yes. And I'll turn it over to who's ever going to be the speaker.
Good morning again, everyone, and thank you for having us. Today, you're going to hear from Monica Wilkes. She is Director of Human Resources, and from Mary Brady, she is Director of Teaching and Learning. Regarding our international teachers, just a few housekeeping things. So as they're going through, you're going to have a lot of questions. I'm just going to ask that you hold your questions if you can until the end, because some of them may be answered throughout the PowerPoint. But if it's something that you kind of like really need to know at that moment, that's okay too. The other thing that I want to let you know, we do have another meeting after this, RCC. They're doing resolution on racism, so we will be going over there after this meeting to be with our students. So I just kind of wanted to do a little housekeeping. And so without further ado, I'm going to ask her, Monica, to come to the podium. Good morning, everyone. Please let us know if you can't hear us, but we have pretty loud voices, so I think you guys are gonna be okay. Perfect, awesome. So we wanted to talk to you guys about our exciting program. It's our International Teacher Cultural Exchange Program. And so we wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight about the program. It's our first time. We're really excited about it. There's been a lot of buzz in the community, but I can't get into the nitty-gritty without first thanking our fearless leader, Dr. Rochelle Clark, because this was her vision. Dr. Clark had this vision even before I started with the school district. She works really closely with the superintendent from Peoria Public Schools, Dr. Sharon Karat. And Dr. Karat initiated this program in Peoria. They've been doing it for about 5 years now, and they bring on districts as hosts to participate in the program. So I'm just gonna give a round of applause to Dr. Clark for her vision. Okay, if we can go to the first slide, perfect. The purpose of the program, there's a lot of words up there, but basically the purpose really is an international cultural exchange. We are hoping that by having international teachers in our schools, that it's both an exchange experience of culture, not only for them learning about our culture here in the United States, but also for our students to learn about different cultures and different educational practices, and having just the different faces and exposing them to the world. So the true nature of the program really is cultural exchange, but I will tell you, it does help to solve our teacher vacancies here in Decatur. And so we paired those two together, and that's why we're so excited about the program. So I mentioned Peoria Public School District 150. When we went to learn about the program, Mary and I went over and we spent an entire day with Peoria. And we peppered them with all the questions. Is this going to be right for our students here in Decatur? So we spent a lot of time with them understanding what the program is about. At the end of that day, we thought, you know what, let's bring this back to Dr. Clark. Let's tell her what we learned. And we decided together that it would be a good fit for DPS. Now DPS is one of 11 school districts in Illinois who are hosting international teachers. And that's really exciting. We had no idea that there were so many other districts who were involved, but we are amongst great company. We are one of 11. So Decatur, we met with the union leadership, and I know the president of the teachers union, DEA, Sam Mills, isn't here today, but I have to thank DEA because since the very beginning of the program, they have been partners with us in bringing this program to DPS. And so through Mary's leadership, and I'll let her get into a little bit of that process here, we interviewed over 86 candidates. A lot of time and effort was spent in making sure that the right candidates came to DPS. So out of the 83, we selected 43 candidates to move forward with and to vet further, to possibly bring them here to DPS. And out of the 43, 39 were in the final selection. Out of the 39, there are 37 teachers who have arrived, and we're waiting for a couple of additional teachers to arrive.
So we developed a team collectively between Human Resources, Teaching and Learning, along with our teacher union representatives in order to make sure that we could fully vet and understand the candidates that we were getting from a variety of different countries. And so we made sure that in this entire process, the teachers were a part of the conversation. So when we got down to, out of these 86 candidates, who were we going to select and where were the needs within all of our buildings, we made sure that we focused on selected buildings because we didn't want any of the candidates to be singleton teachers in that building, so they would have their own built-in support system, as well as having the support of the union was really important with that. So we spent 4 consecutive days on Zoom interviews, going through a series of questions, and then we brought back a handful of candidates for second interviews because we needed to get a little bit more information from them in order to make sure that they really fit into what we needed. And That really allowed us then to develop our orientation program for when they transitioned here at the beginning of the school year. So all of these teachers had to have at least 2 years of teaching experience, and they have a professional educator's license. So that means that they are licensed to teach in the state of Illinois. And they also have to have a very high level of English proficiency. We of course did our background checks and made sure that they had good character and good standing abroad as well as here in the United States. But one of the other key components to this is they needed to have the financial ability to support themselves, including housing, transportation, and all of those additional expenses. Because they do get placed on the same pay scale as the rest of our teachers based on the years of experience that they have, and they get that opportunity to also have membership within our teacher union as well. So as we transition them into their host school, this was probably the highlight of our summer, was HR, teaching and learning, as well as a driver from either transportation or security would go with us to the airport. And that was amazing. We got to greet them at the airport. We would bring them in. We finally figured it out. We would do a quick run to Walmart, which might have felt overwhelming after a 22-hour flight, but we brought them in to make sure that they could choose what food they needed, what other little odds and ends they needed before we took them to an apartment, which they had chosen, and they had chosen all that off-site based on a list that was provided to them. We worked very closely with Swartz Properties, and again, we'll give some credit to Dr. Clark. She worked with all of the real estate agents across Decatur, because one of our biggest concerns was, where is everybody going to live? And how are they going to get around when they get here? And so we brought together all of the real estate agents last spring when we were planning this to make sure we had the housing. And so then Monica and I went to several apartment complexes throughout Decatur and made sure that it was okay. And there was a few we were like, maybe not so much. And so we steered them to a list of all of the apartments that we thought were best for them. They had a choice of it being unfurnished or furnished in some cases. Many of them chose unfurnished apartments because they knew they had the financial means to come and provide what they needed in order to do that. We also took them, like the next day, we took them to Boost Mobile so they could all get American phone numbers, new phones, because even though they came with phones, for everything we do here, as you know, you have to have a phone number. You have to have a local phone number. And so they didn't have that. So we took them, we arranged that, and then we took them for a bigger trip to the grocery store in Walmart so that they could get what they needed. We also provided them with a welcome basket of all of the things: sheets, pillows, spatulas, soap, Tide, Dawn, toilet paper, paper towels. All of those things that you don't think about until you go in, you're like, where is what I need? And so they got that. We also were able to provide them over 1 month of a bus pass from the city of Decatur. The city of Decatur has been wonderful in working and being a partnership with us. And they also participate in all of our district health screens. And then they got a lot of information from the Decatur Area Convention and Visitors Bureau with brochures, visitor guides, all of those other things that you need to know about Decatur that some of us all take for granted that are there. And when you go to explain it, you're like, oh, yeah, like this is what we have and this is what we have to offer. We also worked with Hickory Point Bank in order to get them established with financial accounts and banking information here in Decatur.
All right, I'm going to ask Dr. Clark to join us back up here. I think the biggest question that folks tend to have is, what can we do to help? So we have these wonderful international teachers here. How can we support them? What can our community do to get involved and to help? And so we listed just a few things up there on the screen there. Obviously, we're gonna try to get bus passes for all of those that don't have transportation. It takes them a while to get here, to get social security cards, to get driver's licenses, so that could be months and months on end. So they have to rely on public transportation during that time. You know, we can also welcome anyone to volunteer in their classes to help the students get to know Decatur, help the teachers get to know Decatur and how welcoming our community is. So if you have time and you would love to volunteer, we welcome that. We're also collecting gift cards for household purchases or other seasonal needs in collaboration with one of the local churches here. I think one of the things that's important to note is because we are partners and we have such a great relationship with DEA, which is the teachers union, there's limitations to what the district can provide. We have to be fair. We don't want to provide things to the international teachers that we wouldn't provide to all teachers, right? So there are some community organizations that we are partnered with that they are able to provide some of those things that the district itself cannot provide. So we would encourage you to link up with those organizations as well. And if there are any providers locally, we have recommendations about healthcare providers, whether they're primary care physicians, dentists, optometrists, any good advice, any good connections and links, we would love to share that with our teachers as well. What am I forgetting, Dr. Clark? We are going to have a meet and greet here very soon for all of our teachers, not just our international teachers, but all of our new teachers to the district. We haven't decided on a location just yet because we want to bring those providers as well. So that's why we're asking for any connections you may have. So everything is in one place that they will be able to go to in that setting. And it will give you an opportunity to meet all of our teachers. I will say, you know, there's a long list, but my immediate concern is transportation. Because they have not decided on what mode of transportation they're gonna have moving forward just yet. Just so you know, I have reached back out to the city of Decatur and I've spoken with Mayor Wolf as well. And they're trying to work something out where we can get additional passes for them to get them through the remainder of the school year. So I'll take any questions at this point. Oh, Mike coming.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say I'm happy the teachers are here. I'm actually very involved at Franklin Grove School, and I've been transporting lots of people. We had one at our house almost all day on Monday. Transportation is huge because for taking the bus, if you live in Twin Oaks, you're going to have to take the bus downtown and then transfer and then get, and they're going to Franklin Grove. They leave for work now at 6:30 in the morning. It's an early start school. So they have somebody that's taking them to school. Occasionally that doesn't work out. They tried to cater moves that did not work for them. So I think it didn't show up.
So that's one of the things we talked to Tim Gleason and Mayor Wolf about, because in the beginning, Decatur moves, they were not taking them to the schools at all. And so he said they would fix that. So I'm doing a follow-up with them today actually to see where we are, because in our opinion, that's probably the best route at this point in time versus trying to get on a city bus.
Right, because the bus doesn't go necessarily from where you are to where you need to go. The question I have is about PD. I know you've done a lot of PD. And the question I have is so if you're in a PBIS school, for example, are they getting the PBIS training for that?
So every school in our district does something different for their climate and culture. So if that particular school that they're in is utilizing PBIS, positive behavior interventions and support, then they'll get that particular training. But every school is responsible for their own climate and culture. Yes.
Hi friends, I'm Melanie Schelling, and I'm just a regular old community member. And I was tagged somehow on Facebook about all these teachers coming to town. I hadn't even heard anything about it until I got this tag on Facebook. Well, I got involved right away trying to figure out what can I do to help support this. So before I go into that, if we could please, I just want to have us all give a heartfelt round of applause to the women up here, because the fact that they found a creative way to solve the void and the shortage that we have in taking care of and training our children, to me is tremendous. They thought outside the box. So if we could please. You know, a lot of people talk about problems, but not a lot of people find solutions. So I'm just so grateful. All of us, I think, agree that we gotta take care of these kids, right? We gotta get them trained up. So for those of you that know me personally, you can tell kids are my passion, right? So anyway, that's how I got tagged on this group, International Teacher Support, on Facebook. And the group was actually founded by a couple of teachers who met the international teachers and thought, oh brother, these people need help. Well, why do they need help, right? They have jobs, they're here, things are good. So imagine when you first left your mom and dad's house. Maybe it was your first apartment, maybe you were going off to college for the first time. Even if you had a bank account with some savings in it, right? Did you have everything you needed? Do you remember borrowing your aunt's old couch that she donated to you, right? Or your neighbor had a dresser or something like that. Now imagine that same scenario, but you're coming across the world with 2 suitcases. So yes, you have a job, but how long does it take before you actually get your paycheck, right? And you get all of your stuff taken care of. So when you think about these teachers, think about they're kind of like young people moving out on their own almost, because they didn't have things. So this group started as a way to try to get the community involved in, hey, they don't have pots and pans. They don't have all their linens. They don't know anything about the bus service or how to get around. They probably don't even know what's in Decatur and what's available. So this Facebook group said, if you can donate things, let's coordinate this. And Resurrection Life Church on McKinley has graciously agreed to be like the host church. And I know they were emptying out their room this weekend. I don't know the status of it. But if you're someone that does have a bunch of pots and pans you want to get rid of, or a recliner, or a dresser, or something like that, you can reach out to me. I'm going to probably refer us all back to Resurrection Life Church. But they're the ones that are kind of coordinating, helping these teachers establish their home, right? That's the first thing. The second thing that I got tasked with was they said, we would really love to have some friendship families. So again, remember these people are strangers to each other. A lot of them have come from Ghana, and which was surprising to me, majority of the teachers are men, which shocked me. I shouldn't have been shocked, I guess. Makes me sexist, I don't know. I assume they'd all be women. Nope, most of them are men. But they didn't know each other. Even though they came from the same country, that's like saying, oh, you're from America, you probably know this guy over here, right? No, they didn't know each other. So they're trying to build not only their own community of new teachers, but then also figure out, how do I do my daily job, right? How do I exist after work? One of the things this group did was we bought TVs, smart TVs, for all of the new teachers, because they would get home into their, empty apartment, right? And do what? Nothing, right? So at least now they have some engagement. Anyway, so the group said, well, Mel, would you be in charge of trying to connect friendship families? I said, well, what does that mean? Well, what it means is, let's say that it's a weekend and they've never been to a pumpkin patch before. Maybe you want to take a couple teachers to the pumpkin patch. Or maybe you get to know a teacher. Soccer's a big thing for some of, I don't know anything about soccer, but soccer's a big thing. So maybe you have a grandchild that plays soccer and you're going to grab a teacher on a Saturday morning to go watch a soccer game, right? Or Thanksgiving's coming up, Christmas is coming up. We're going to be with our families and friends. Their families and friends are in Africa, or I don't remember all the countries. Philippines, right? So maybe you just say, you know what, we always have a big party. I'll have 3 or 5 people, my house is open, I'll come pick you up, right? So if you're interested in becoming a friendship family partner, definitely give me your contact information and I'll try to pair you up with someone. I know that this group hosts little impromptu gatherings. So for example, I went to a picnic and there was probably 25 teachers there and then like 15 community members just hanging out, right? Just trying to be normal and do normal type of things. But my ask as just a regular community member is, again, think of yourself where you were when you first started out on your own and the support you needed emotionally, physically, spiritually. A lot of them have asked me about churches and how to connect with churches, which again, then how do they get to the church, right? It'd be great for them to have that resource. Even if you don't want to have them come over to your house for dinner, maybe just text them or call them and say, hey, what do you need? You need a ride to church. You need to know where the best something is. They were talking about weekends. They need people to drive them to Champaign to go to the African grocery store.
Wait.
No, not that? Oh.
Okay, so the teachers are all here on J1 visas. The J1 visas are highly monitored and their locations are highly monitored. So whenever they leave the city of Decatur, Mount Zion, Forsyth, like our little area here, there's a very small, broad area that they can leave. If they leave to go to Champaign or Bloomington, Springfield, they have to report to Peoria and let Peoria know. So it's very difficult when people call them up on a Saturday morning at 9 o'clock and like, hey, we're riding Champaign, you wanna go? They have things that they have to do. And I'm not gonna get political, but in the current climate we are at, if they are not where they say they're going to be, they could be in violation of their visa. And the last thing that we want to have happen is somebody report that our teachers aren't where they need to be and we bring more attention to our community.
That's a good call out.
So I probably didn't go into as much detail, but Peoria is their J1 visa sponsor. So Peoria Public School District is responsible for these teachers in our country. We are the host district where we are employing them and where they teach, right? So that's why anytime they have to check in, they have to check in with Peoria. They have monthly check-ins with Peoria. They have monthly professional development with Peoria. They have regular professional development with DPS. So they have two teams, two districts supporting them and providing them with professional development as well as just support being here in the country and part of their visas. I just wanted to point out up on the slide, there's a QR code, but there's also a link there to our website. We have an FAQ so that if there are any just kind of general questions about the program, we've tried to answer in great detail a lot of things. So if there's something that you didn't think of right now and you want to go check it out, we're trying to add a lot of that information to our website. But it looks like we have another one. Come on. Yeah,
thank you for your presentation this morning. Are there any other communities in the state of Illinois doing the same thing?
Yes, we are the 11th district that is partnered with Peoria. So there are several districts up north. There's a couple down in the St. Louis area. I will say we brought in the greatest number of teachers this year, so we're very proud of that. They're looking at us as a model for how to bring people in. They love it that we pick them up from the airport every time. They loved and greeted them. They loved our welcome baskets. There were 71 items in these welcome baskets. So they really appreciate the way that we welcome them in our community.
If any of you guys, I don't know if you want my phone number or something, or if you just want to grab me afterwards. Melanie, MELANIE, SCHELLING. 972-9456.
Good morning, I'm Heather Stoll. I'm with Rotary Club of Decatur, and I talked to you about a year ago when we brought the Ukrainian families to Decatur. And I went and met with Decatur Public Schools to offer our services, and Dr. Clark is a member of our club, so she knows the process that we've been through with the Ukrainians. A couple of things that I think we could do together as an organization. On my own, I took 2 of the women around Decatur, and they don't know our city. So the Y has graciously agreed to let us use school buses. So if we'd like to do a Saturday tour of Decatur so people can see where they're living, perhaps we could partner and do some refreshments and tours around the city. And another thing that I have heard is that one of our teachers went into the rental agency and gave them their entire month's rent in cash. And to me, that means that maybe we should do some financial literacy classes with our teachers, and to think about coming into a new community, not understanding our currency, not knowing until you're here for a while how far your money goes, how you should be spending it. I heard someone say, well, let's get a credit card set up. No. So I think we have members in our club, and I'm sure you do too, that could help do a class for teachers maybe at Stephen Decatur and bring some of the other teachers in. And if there are other ways that you can think that we can work together or that community partners can help, please let me know or let Dr. Clark and the District 61 team know.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Rochelle, are they having direct deposit? Are they having direct deposit as all teachers are?
Yes, when they're onboarded, they have their HR meeting. We've partnered with Hickory Point Bank, and we send the paperwork in, and Hickory Point sets up their bank account. So very early on, within the first 2 weeks of them being here, they are provided with a bank account.
Are they able to navigate that system, how that works?
Yes, they are. So they're working with our payroll department, they're getting direct deposit. They're learning all the things about how to complete the forms, right? We walk them through how to fill out the W-4, how to fill out all of the forms. They work directly with the bank on their accounts. And should I get a debit card, or should I do a credit card, or do I need checks, and all those things. So yes, Hickory Point reaches out to them about their accounts.
I have kind of multiple questions, but Melanie, I'm assuming that you are the main contact for anything. If not, what are the contacts?
No, I am not.
Then, well, for example, I know a group of Filipino people, and you mentioned Filipino.
Yeah.
How do I connect people?
So she has graciously worked with the community on the community aspect of things, like, you know, what you're hearing out here, just getting them to know more about Decatur. But the QR code or the information on the screen here is how you get in contact with these 2 young ladies right here, pertaining to anything that you want to know. We also have an FAQ on our website, so every time a question comes into us that we have not heard, we post that question and answer on our FAQ, just to kind of keep everybody in the loop as to what it is that we are doing or providing. But you're contacting these 2 young ladies back here through that information up there.
Okay, also I would just like to say, go to the Facebook page, International Teachers Support. That's where the group is, and you'll get a lot of information there, and you'll get contact with various people that are coordinating the volunteering. Okay.
And for example, if you have a group that you know, the Filipino organization, for example, I have the teachers who have asked to be connected with friendship families. And so I would be happy to pair them together, right? Like, and so I'm pretty basic. I text both of them at the same time, hey, this person's interested in helping you with X, Y, Z, and then they have each other's contact, and it's up to them to continue that relationship.
Okay. Additionally, I think it would be helpful to all of us to maybe be able to connect someone by simply knowing, for example, what grades are being taught, what subjects are being taught.
That's a lot, because we are K-12, pre-K-12 district. So you have teachers that are in just the 7 and 8 building. You have teachers that are teaching in K-6, K-8. I can probably, in the high school, I mean, that's a lot of subjects. Like if you're asking hey, I would like to, and I'm making this totally up, I would like to do little somethings for a third grader, then I would have to then find out which one of the teachers are only teaching third grade, but even if it's third grade, they may be teaching all things third grade, right? So that's a big ask in that aspect of it.
So there were about 25 teachers so far that have said they're interested in partnering with someone. And we did ask them what school they teach at, what subject, what grade, and like what they're interested in. So some people put soccer, some people put church, some people put social, right? But that's all like their private information. So that's why if you say, you know what, I'd like to help, I'd like to be a friendship family, if you reach out to me and talk to me about what you're interested in, then I can look at them and try to pair them. But they've asked the people in charge of the international, not these professional people, the community people, have just said, please don't publish all their stuff out there. So it's more, if you said, hey Mel, I am a member of the Filipino group, I'd like to help meet with a Filipino teacher, I have that of the 25 teachers who said they'd like to connect. Does that make sense? Okay.
Our club is supporting the Sunshine School supply store by providing them with a number of their, I guess, scholarships, not scholarships, but memberships. And I don't know if you were aware of that, but we, hopefully they can use that resource for their teaching supplies, so we appreciate it.
We have hooked them up, or connected them with that, as well as when they came, they also got, everybody's very jealous, especially the two behind me, were very jealous. They got a book bag, so they could carry all of their technology supplies, but it was full of anything and everything you could need to teach. All of the expo markers, the staplers, the scissors, all of those things. So we also made sure that they had all those supplies. And through the Professional Development Institute, we also are providing them with other resources that we have from around the district. The border for the bulletin boards, all of those type of items, posters, anything like that. And if they reach out or ask, we can also make connections to have those provided. But we've also shared with them the Sunshine store.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Dr. Clark, we'd like to present you with this certificate of appreciation for joining us today. And also for Mary Brady and Monica Welks.
Oh, a shameless plug. Steve Decatur's having a fundraiser tonight at Texas Roadhouse.
And Melanie also got a certificate.
It's very nice, thank you all.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, we're going to have a pretty large, pretty long meeting today because we were originally scheduled for the youth protection training, which is required by Kiwanis International, and Linda Durnall's going to come up and give us a presentation about that. But we were able to bring these women in to talk about this very important teaching opportunity in the community. And Paula Lukendill was able to set this up. So we had them come and give that talk. And so it's a little longer today, but I thought it was worth it with the group we that in. So we'll turn it over to Linda now.
Thank you.
I want to really thank Gary for doing all my slides, because I haven't done that for 20 years, so I have some nice PowerPoint slides. All right, let's get started. I agreed to do this, and I was going to use a canned presentation, but it was 45 minutes long. And then I looked up the policies and procedures to see what I was supposed to do, and it was 33 pages long. So being me, I thought, no, I'm going to do this the way I want to. So this is going to be direct and to the point. Youth protection training. October is the time for Kiwanis clubs to conduct mandatory youth protection training and evaluate club members' compliance. Why? All adults working with youth under the age of 18 at any Kiwanis service project, fundraising, or volunteering event are required to read, understand, and agree to and abide by their policies. Well, we do that. After all, nothing is more important than the safety and well-being of those we serve. Education. The purpose is to annually educate Kiwanis Club members about the importance of youth protection training, which we're doing. The goal is to keep you, protect yourself, the Golden Cave Kiwanis Club, and Kiwanis International. Topic of background checks. I like clip art. Criminal history background checks. Kiwanis International requires clubs to have clear criminal history background check for any club members working with children. Examples. Schools, some of you do a lot of work with your churches. We have CASA advocates, Boys and Girls Club tutoring, Old King's Orchard, etc. Now, Kiwanis International requires advisors to any service leadership programs, that's our key clubs, be a member of Golden Cave Kiwanis Club, which they are, and have a background check. The background check must be conducted and verified by Kiwanis International. We pay dues of $145 a year. $13 of that is liability insurance that covers you and protects you. Okay, the background check procedure. If you want a background check, I've never pushed it, I will leave it up to you. You need to let me know. You can tell me, text me, email me. The first thing I will do is send you an invitation from Kiwanis International. You will need your ID number. It is below the label on your directory, because none of us know our ID numbers. It's right there. You need a credit card. The cost is $35. It takes about 10 minutes. It's good for 2 years, and you can get reimbursed if you ask John. You follow the directions in the email that you receive. You will receive a report by email that you passed your credit check or background check. And it's good for 2 years, which I said. If you want to, I already said that. Secretary is required to monitor the background checks monthly. I will send you an invitation to renew when yours is about to expire. The reason I do a background check is I don't have that much time to work with kids. But For me, that $35 is a real good investment in my protection and my club's protection. One example is school tutoring, etc. The school approves you as a volunteer. Most of us, I know at Franklin Grove, they scanned our driver's license and, that's fine. The school has liability insurance. It is for their staff. It does not cover or protect you. You are not a staff member at a school. You are a volunteer. Kiwanis International Liability Insurance covers you and Golden K. You pay for it with your dues. Topic, preventing false allegations. We live in a different world now. Never be alone with a child. Remain in an area where other adults and youth can see you. Work in the line of sight of others. Don't go into a bathroom alone with a youth. Take 2 or more. Stand outside to supervise. Avoid physical contact. These are all things you know. This is repetitive. I'm going to give you a quick example that I learned at convention. There was a man, volunteer, very much like us, at a school back east, was working with a reading group in an elementary school, 9-year-olds, and they met in a storeroom off a classroom. And this particular day, the 3 little girls that he had been working with, there was only one there. The other 2 were absent. And the teacher left the room for a few minutes, probably to run off papers and make phone calls or whatever. When the little girl went home, I think she said to her parents, I don't know, I wasn't there, but I was alone today at school with a man in the storeroom. Now, kids today are different. You know that. 9-year-olds are not 9-year-olds that we knew 30 years ago. And you don't know what kind of family life they come from or what is, goes on in their homes. But I can only imagine. I used to volunteer with Growing Strong Sexual Assault Center, and I know they're highly trained investigators that talk to children, because children can be coached by families. And so anyway, long story short, I don't know what went on in the home, but I do know that the parents probably thought, oh, this is a good way to sue or whatever and get money. The man was arrested. He had to get a lawyer. He had found out that the school where he worked, he was not covered because he was a volunteer. He was not a staff member. So he turned next to his Kiwanis liability insurance, only to find out, because he never got a background check, he was not covered by his insurance, liability insurance he paid for. Long story short, it was a mess. I don't know what happened to the man, but I do know that the legal fees bankrupted his Kiwanis club, and I heard that Kiwanis International had a payout. So, I will leave that with you to think about. Again, if you want a background check, let me know. Okay. Situations. I'm just going to summarize a few because I don't want to go through 33 pages. Reporting on behavior or mental health issues. If a Kiwanian observes troubling behavior involving a youth or becomes aware of a situation that is illegal or potentially unsafe for a young person, they must immediately contact the appropriate personnel at the place where they volunteer. We all know that. I would assume we all do that. Kiwanians working with youth may observe or suspect some potential mental health issues. Again, Kiwanians should refrain from counseling youth, but assist them in finding appropriate expert assistance. You know where you're at church or school, you know the appropriate person to report something to. As teachers, which many of us were, we were mandated reporters. If you see something, we were mandated by law to report it. So consider yourself a mandated reporter. Protect yourself. Chaperones. Kiwanis members usually have been approved and registered by the school, church, or agency to accompany the youth members at a specific event. I don't think we really do that much, but in some occasions you might. Bus field trips, school or church. Kiwanis International recommends 1 adult per 50 students. I know as a teacher, we went by 1 to 10 students. And years ago when I was doing field trips, of course teachers were in charge, but I always had 2 volunteers, and I laughingly remember that they usually had blue shirts on and they were Kiwanis, K Kiwanis people that volunteered and helped me with my field trip buses. So now I'm paying it back. Transportation, van or car. Rule of 3s. Have at least 3 kids with you if you have to transport them by van or car. And documented permission slips from parents. I always had a clipboard, all the permission slips. If you're going with someone, hopefully they have all that, but hopefully you do. Overnight events, we don't do that much. I know some years ago when Shopar went to Chicago and we took the kids, we took shifts overnight and sat in the hallway in the hotel to make sure the kids stayed in their rooms and didn't try to go to somebody else's room. And they poke their head out and they look and they go, she's still here. Slam the door. Too bad. Protect yourself and protect your kids. Again, documented permission slips from parents. I don't know about sporting events, if they still maybe don't, you know, like a tennis team may go in a van or whatever, but you would know that. Youth and social media, this is pretty new. Adult club members should never initiate any connections with youth to any social networking site or respond to a youth who makes a request for such a connection. Now, I read that and I thought, really? And then I think about 9-year-old kids now have cell phones and, you know, they're all on the internet and you just don't know. So, I know. Acceptable. According to Kiwanis International, we can connect via an SLP Club page account, like our Key Club page account, and not an individual member account. I have never done that. I doubt if Dan or Charles has ever done that. If I have anything to get to St. Teresa or Mount Sinai, I go strictly through the club advisor, Elise or Logan. So, just a heads up. That's it. Any questions?
St. Teresa has a group account that they have access to, so I think
Yeah, I know they do. They get information out all over the place, but I just want to go through the advisor and they can decide what's good and what isn't. Any other questions?
Linda, I signed up to be a volunteer through DPS, through the HR department, and they did a background check on me for that. Does that take the place of the Kiwanis one or not?
No. It protects you on, you know, school. I mean, you would have their backup help if there was a problem. But these parents in this instance, because they had a lawyer that was smart, he sued the man. He knew he could sue the school district. He knew he could sue the Kiwanis Club and Kiwanis International. And they will do that today, just to get as much money as they can, whether it's true or not, you know. So it's your call, but honestly and truthfully, to protect yourself, I would spend $35 and get reimbursed and get a background check, because that makes your Kiwanis liability insurance right there for you when you need it, and you can just turn it over to them and switch it up, okay? Any other questions? I promise to be short.
Thank you, Linda. And as usual, everyone gets a certificate of appreciation and an ink pen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Linda. I really got more out of your presentation than the ones in the past, because you made it short and to the point and what we really need to know. So thank you very much. I think Kathy Seebach has a couple of awards to, a couple of acknowledgements here.
I do. I'm gonna come up front though, I think.
Sure.
At this time, I would like to present the Kiwanis of the Month, and this goes to an individual for their dedication and volunteer service to the Golden Cake Kiwanis. And this person has been an administrative advisor to the club. He has served as the chairman for the annual Peanut Days, and he is a volunteer at his church. At this time, I'd like to recognize Bob Bishop for doing a fantastic job.
When I woke up this morning, I was a little bit shaky, but I wanted to come because I told Mark that I would be here for his presentation of our peanuts. So I lose my balance pretty easily, but I thank you for this award. It's not me, it's you that won this award. I'm just so happy to be a part of this organization. When I took over the Peanuts 12 years ago, I thought it was to raise money to help our children. That is our goal. That is probably still our primary goal. But I learned something else over the years. And this year, the realization of that came quite clear to me. And that's you, the members. In a club, the average participation is about 8 to 11 members who do most of the work. And this year, with the Farm Progress Show that Harold got for us, and the Peanuts, we had 40 members participate. The average club does 15 to 20% of the members do all the work. In this club, on those two events, we had over 70% participation. To me, that's what it was all about, the volunteerism of you, our members. I am so honored to be a part of this organization. Thank you.
time, I'd also like to make another presentation. This is a certificate of appreciation, and it's for, this is an editor's pin that I'd like to present to Linda Thomas. She gets to be very You need a pen to put on your, there you go. Don't leave yet. I also have for you a certificate of appreciation for all the work that you do, the fine work that you do as being the editor and doing the nugget every week. And usually by the time I get home from this meeting, and within a couple of hours, I get on the computer and there's the nugget. So she is so thorough and so prompt. Thank you for doing a great job.
Not today, I have book club.
Okay, I think we're ready for the introduction of guests and attendance with Linda.
Okay, today we have 53 members present, 3 guests, of course 6 speakers, which you already met, for a total of 62. The 3 guests here are Heather Stoa from Rotary, she's sitting in the back there with Paula. Ralph Hinkle is a guest, and Paul Foster, Jerry Pell's guest, is sitting here somewhere. Oh, he left? Okay. And that's it, and just a quick announcement. After I leave today, I'm picking up all our brand new directories, and they will be ready to be handed out to you next week.
Okay, thank you. Health report. Kathy?
For the health report, I don't have anything, although I do want Bob to take care of himself and get stronger. Thank you.
Birthdays and anniversaries. Kevin?
Birthdays and anniversaries from the 19th through the 25th. We have birthdays. On the 20th, Lori Brown. On the 22nd, or 23rd, I'm sorry, Joy Gravy. And on the 23rd also, Sally Williams. They're all getting beautiful. Let's sing. No anniversaries. All right, I got one thing here, is politicians. A politician is like Quicksilver. If you put your finger on him, you will find nothing under it.
Okay, all right. All right, starting a new activity this week. You know, all the time there are new words being created, and it's, necessary for us to kind of challenge our brains a little bit to look at new words and see if we can enhance our vocabulary. So Gary, if you would put up the new word for this week. All right. Raise your hand if you think you can tell us what a hygiene evangelist is. Sorry?
Somebody who encourages people to be clean.
Yeah, well, okay, that's a good start, yeah.
Preacher of hygiene.
A preacher of hygiene. Yeah, get there. Okay. Well, a hygiene evangelist is a person who tries to clean your teeth and save your soul simultaneously. So, and I think, who was it that gave the answer back over here? Come on up, we got a prize for you.
Pass it on to Dan.
But you have to show people what your prize is.
Probably afraid to do that. Before I show this, whatever it is, I want to thank everybody for the well wishes for my eye thing. I went through Gailey. They did it yesterday morning, and it was a very 45-minute surgery. Right now, I've got 80% back in it. It's not even healed yet. So I highly recommend Gailey here in Decatur. I don't know if this is going to bite me or not. Uh-oh. The Christian century. Great.
Well, there's a couple of other things in there too.
Uh-oh. Oh, toothbrush.
Okay, that goes with a hygiene evangelist, okay? All right.
Thank you.
Okay, Cheryl, boss?
Just a reminder, we have Boo at the Zoo, Saturday, from 3 to 6 p.m. And I talked with them yesterday, we are going to do it rain or shine. So dress appropriately.
Okay, great. Dan, Seabach.
Okay, the Key Club is meeting on the first Sunday of November, which I think is the second. And we installed Logan Shoemaker at the last Kiwanis Key Club meeting. There's a picture of him right there now. So, and they're going to do Blue at the Zoo also.
Okay, very good. Kathy.
This Sunday, we did the carriage house, and I'd like to thank Cheryl Boss and Donna Dosman, the wife of Harold, Kathy Thompson, Marcia Uptorf, and Mary Claire Cummins for helping with the meal. Much appreciated.
Okay. And Paula?
I would like to thank whoever was involved with approving the pocket dictionaries to all of the third grade classes at Muffley Elementary School. They should be arriving this afternoon. I'll get them stamped this evening, and hopefully to the teachers after the lid sorting tomorrow, which the lid sorting is tomorrow at the Sailboat Club down off of Lost Bridge Road and Lakefront Drive. It's the dock that has the boats that have the big things sticking out of the top of them. If you are able to come, I would very much appreciate it. The goal is to try to get through as many of the Muffley lids as possible. That's why we're doing it outside, because they are the ones that are a little bit more debris ridden than the regular ones. So if you're able to show up, come when you can, leave when you have to, and you have my greatest appreciation if you can make it.
Okay, thank you. Mark?
Okay, thank you. I'd like to give a quick recap of the Peanut Days. I want to thank Bob for all his help. I'm looking forward to trying to fill his big shoes next year. And I only took the job knowing that he would be here to help me. And I have a lot of witnesses that you're going to do that. Okay, I think Gary? Okay. Just a second, we have a slide so you can see our financials on it. First of all, can everybody who worked Peanut Days, would you please stand so we can see everybody who, yeah, okay. Thank you very much, appreciate it. Want to call out Steve, Pat, and Jackie for all their help in what I call the boiler room, where where they count all the money and everything, so thank you very much for that. Here's our financial report. Revenue, $14,711. Our expenses for $4,686, and our profit ended up right at $10,000. So let's have a big round of applause. That's important. I think Bob told me that might be like the second biggest one we've ever had. So we've got a good goal getting ready for next year. Looking forward to working with everybody. And thank you, Bob, for everything you've done.
All right, Tom?
Okay, the board met last Monday, but I'm going to defer that until next week for the interest of time. I also want to thank you for your patience today and how long our meeting has gone. But so we'll go on with the 50-50 right now.
I am happy to report that we took in $107 today, and that might be one of our highest.
Thank you.
So $53 to admin, $54 to the pot, for a total of $313 to the winner, whoever that might be. Last three digits, 184. Next one, 166.
Next number, please.
260.
There's your winner. Probably, no him.
Man in the Cubby blue.
Is that yours? Oh!
Winner!
Way to go, Jerry. You meeting me for lunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're mine.
I'm fine. Okay. Happy jog. Who's happy? Hit Jerry first, you know. He's happy.
I got $2. My grandson Brett got a WAMD play of the week, 2 weeks in a row.
Well, before I even won, I had this money out here. So obviously, I have to put in $5. Most of it's for the Dodgers, who have won 7 of the 13 games that they need to win to be World Series champions, and the other is for being lucky and thanking all of you for contributing.
I'm happy that I've turned into the leadership with Tom, and he looks like he's doing a pretty good job. And it gives me an opportunity to go to Colorado in a couple of weeks to see my 2 sons and the families.
Thank you.
Okay, $1 for Dick Virgin for coming up with that vocabulary quiz. And then another $1 because I have I have 2 granddaughters who have birthdays this month. Wow. I don't know. International. Okay.
turn over to our storyteller, John Dunn.
A long time ago, someone gave me a Norwegian storybook. I still don't know why. Inside that book, Ole and Lena were driving across the woods of Minnesota, and Ole spotted a jackass in a field. He turned to Linda and he said, "Relative of yours?" And she said, "Yes, by marriage."
Take a picture. There we go. There.
Welcome, welcome to London.
Okay, our speaker next week is Amy Blitznick, and she's the president and CEO of Naked Resources. And we are Golden K Kiwanis. We enjoy changing the world for the better by serving children and others. And we are adjourned.